The last 1 week has seen a lot of tense activity on India's eastern front, that is in Bangladesh, and eventually leading to their Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, leaving the country in a military helicopter, coming under India's fold and protection, and right now is basically provided political shelter by India till a solution to the Bangladesh crisis is finally found. The Bangladeshis have gone and found a model figure, Professor Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate and an economist. And ironically, for a lady who turned Bangladesh's economy around, Professor Muhammad Yunus is also very popular in Bangladesh as the people's banker. His model of Grameen economy, Grameen Bank, was something that was lauded the world over. So, Bangladesh, from a country that was being seen as one that had been poised to enter the economy group of the developing countries, suddenly found itself in a sliding economic situation where its foreign exchange reserve began to fall from 21 billion to 20 billion and even lesser. Secondly, Bangladesh had a challenge in front of it, is how to deal with the prying eyes and the interference of the Americans, the Chinese, and the Pakistanis. India was kind of found wanting to provide the Bangladeshis the kind of guidance that Bangladesh needed to confront the prying eyes and interference of the Americans, the Chinese, and the ISI. Now, with them waiting in the wings to enter once a green light is given to them, things could go out of control and will be inimical to India's interests. What India needed to do and must do now is establish very strong diplomatic relations with the new regime. Unfortunately, it was seen by many in the opposition parties, including Begum Zia, former Prime Minister, and the wife and widow of General Zia, their ex-leader. India was seen to be a very dominant figure in Bangladeshi politics. In fact, she made a remark that even the new dispensation, if it leans too much towards India, it would not get the kind of support from her party as it should get. But will that happen or not is a big question for India. Also, the fact that India must understand that Bangladesh has very sensitive communal relations between its Hindu population, which 50 years ago was about 19.8% and today is about 9% to 8%. And therefore, India must be ready to move in, if required, to protect the interests of the Hindu masses that are in Bangladesh, who have recently faced some attacks on the temples and their colonies where they stay. The other aspect that Bangladesh must provide the world an example that their military, which has shown good conduct, I would say, by not taking over the country, though there is a tradition of military rule in Bangladesh on more occasions than one, the military has remained indirectly involved but not fully with boots on the ground beyond ensuring law and order. The police in Bangladesh sadly completely threw their hands up and kept out of the chaotic local street violence, which is a sad reflection on the abilities of their police. The other aspect that India must prepare better to now reinforce is the ability of its intelligence agencies, especially RAW, and its foreign office to create new linkages with the new players in Bangladesh's establishment. Our intelligence agencies and the Foreign Office was found wanting by not being able to alert New Delhi sufficiently about what followed with Begum Sheikh Hasina's departure and the chaos that was in Bangladesh. The other aspect was that the CIA, the ISI, Chinese intelligence, and the other players who are waiting to get into the game should be watched very carefully, because the Americans have been wanting an island off the coast of Bangladesh to be given to them to have a military base so that they could dominate the Bay of Bengal region. The ISI has always seen Bangladesh as part of a larger Islamic bloc, calling it two nations, that's Bangladesh and Pakistan, but following the same ideology and religion, that is Islam. That should not be allowed to happen. And one way India can move in is to be more generous and not wait to do reciprocal activity, but give Bangladesh all the support to build establishments, to rebuild the country after the mob violence, and to ensure that Bangladesh bounces back very quickly. The other final aspect that is of concern is that Bangladesh instability could lead to a refugee crisis, which is what India had led to India's intervention in 17